We know where the big prize is going. Damian Lillard headed to Milwaukee in a Wednesday stunner, a blockbuster move with the Milwaukee Bucks, the Portland Trailblazers, and the Phoenix Suns. Now this leaves this question, though. Jrue Holiday is a Trailblazer for the moment. ESPN had multiple reports of, or at least suggestions from plugged-in reporters that teams like Boston and Miami, who could have been in on the Dame sweepstakes, would now be in on the Jrue Holiday sweepstakes. John Karalis from Locked On Celtics joins me now. And John, Celtics fans getting their hopes up a little bit about this Jrue Holiday potentiality. I think Heat fans see it as a good fit as well. Is it workable in Boston? Does it make sense?
It's technically possible, but I don't know how they pull it off with it making sense. Because step one is they have to take back Malcolm Brogdon. And if they don't want Malcolm Brogdon, then forget it. So if they say, no, we don't want Brogdon, then there's no deal to be done. There's no way to get there with the other salaries because you're just gutting the team. If they say, okay, well, what else you got? Then the Celtics still need to get to $36 million in matching salary because they're up over that first apron. They have to match within 110%. So it's going to be pretty close to exact. Yeah. You know, it's tough. They can do it with Brogdon and Robert Williams, but that seems to be a lot. They could do it with Brogdon, Al Horford, and one other small contract, but that seems to be a lot. So the technical possibilities of them getting there are just, they just don't seem feasible financially for the Celtics.
Financials aside, would it make sense as a player fit? Would he be the kind of guy that you think you'd be willing to give up, you know, a piece or two to get if you're Boston?
I mean, I'd be fine swapping Brogdon for Holiday. That would be an upgrade, I think. But
seems nice.
That's besides not having the money to make that happen. Is Holiday worth getting rid of Robert Williams? Brad Stevens just said over the summer the reason they traded Marcus Smart for Kristaps Porzingis was to get the proper balance between their backcourt and front court. So now if you're going back to Marcus Smart plus a jumper, at least during the regular season, you're giving up one of your important bigs unless they use their $6+ million traded player exception to get out on the market after making a trade for Holiday to get a big that is acceptable. I don't think it makes sense.
Is there a team out there where you go, yeah, this is the perfect opportunity? There's the right assets, like without having to, scour every roster, just top of your head is like, okay, this is the perfect fit for Jrue Holiday.
Yeah. Top of my head would be Miami. Miami could get back in there and say, hey, well, why don't we, if you didn't like this deal for Dame, do you like it for Holiday? Because you can still offer a few of those options, draft picks and whatever. Not that they have a ton, but if I'm Miami, I actually look at that as he's not as good a player, obviously, as Damian Lillard, but man, he's a fit. He's a perfect fit. Heat culture, tough-minded, defensive-minded. He can shoot, again, during the regular season. We'll see if he can do it during the playoffs. But he fits that Heat mentality, that Heat culture. I think that would bring out the best in him. So I'm a little bit more afraid from a Boston perspective of him going to Miami than I was of Lillard going to Miami, because at least Lillard going to Miami hurt their defense. This helps their defense to a point where the Miami defense killed Boston. It's what they hang their hat on. And if you can make it better with Holiday and just that mix with Jimmy Butler and Bam, that defensive trio, I think that would be really good for them.
If just, assets aside, Utah has been a name mentioned, New York, LA, both LA teams potentially, though that would probably be unpalatable from a Blazer standpoint with the Lakers and what they could give. Any other teams that you think are wild cards in all this?
I mean, the Clippers for sure have been looking for a point guard for a long time. And if I'm the Blazers, I don't care if I help the Clippers, because the Clippers are an expensive team. It was the Warriors and the Clippers that were the targets of this new collective bargaining agreement. Yeah. And I know other teams like Boston and Milwaukee have been caught in the crosshairs, but it's that whole CBA was addressing, or that portion of the CBA was addressing the financial ability for the Clippers and the Warriors to just basically print money. So go ahead and help the Clippers for now. You got to say, maybe if they win a championship, so what? Portland's rebuilding. So you go to the Clippers. If this is their missing piece, great. In 2 years, they're going to have to blow this up. And by that point, if Portland's done their rebuild right, they'll be on the upswing when the Clippers are on the downswing. So if you can get some future assets, some future draft capital from them out of that, then that could be something that works for them too.